What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 4 of the Unofficial Visit, presented by Kinetrax. We're on the campus of Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, Virginia. Make sure you stick around. We got a ton of stuff planned.
Go Hokies.
All right, we're joined by Tyson Petersheim, Director of Hitting Development here at Virginia Tech. We're standing on English Field, home of the Hokies. Tyson, talk to us a little bit about the field. I know you guys got some new turf. I know you got a bunch of technology rolling. Tell us a little bit about what you guys got going on here.
Yeah, so the new turf, that just finished up December, early January. Hopefully it'll allow us to get our guys out here a little more often. So the old turf, I think it was going on 11, 12 years, something like that. And guys would just get beat up. Like, guys would dive into second base sliding, and we'd all just grimace for them. So this new turf hopefully will be a little bit softer for them. We're still trying to figure out how it plays a little bit, but that's kind of a work in progress.
It's looking beautiful out here. And then talk to us a little bit about the tech that you guys going on, because I know I see a bunch of cameras kind of set up all over the place. What are you guys working with as far as the tech goes?
So the last year and a half, we got PlaySight for the first time. So we have 2 cameras on the first base dugout. We have 2 on the third base dugout. We have 1 at high home and 1 from center field. And so we have 6 total, and the 2 on each side, 1's for the hitters, 1 for the pitchers, so that we can get open side of each. Kyle Saracen, our Director of Player Development, he handles a lot with the pitchers and hitters. We used to set up like cameras on a tripod, and we'd go back, we'd film our practices, we'd film our scrimmages, and we'd take the SIM card out or whatever, and I have to go through and timestamp everything, make sure I got it, cut the clips. Now on PlaySight, I can go and I can go right in off my phone. So inter-squad's happening. We have all the cameras running. And if I see a play that's worth noting, or one of the other coaches sees it, they might get my attention. I whip my phone out real quick. I stamp it. I go back in the next day. We clip it, and it's ready to go for our guys. We do a scrimmage review almost every day after inter-squad, or if we inter-squad back-to-back days, we'll go the following day.
Sure, and that's got to be huge just for the guys to then have that access. And obviously, like you said, time-consuming before for you guys. That's awesome to have. I know you guys got TrackMan as well. How important is it for you guys to have TrackMan for the in-game numbers? Because obviously, you know, we'll see the lab in a little bit, and that's really important stuff you guys got going on the hitting facility. But in-game, how important is it to have the TrackMan numbers for your guys?
It's all with our preparation and everything. So especially off building a scouting report off the pitcher, we use that stuff all the time. Then we have machines to try to mimic those pitches. Offensively, not in-game, but BPs, our guys won't hit without it on.
Right.
Like, we put up on the scoreboard, and they love to see their exit velos and all that stuff. We also use, I guess, going off that, we use the TrackMan in our inter squads. We'll have our exit velo, launch, and hang time. So that kind of lets me as an outfield guy kind of know, all right, that ball was up there for 5.2 seconds. We didn't catch it. What happened on that play? Because that ball needs to be caught. So we use it different ways in game, inter squads. It kind of goes with our quality at bats as well. We use it to chart that. Obviously, in season, you don't have access to that at real time, but kind of more of an eye test.
Yep.
But in inter squads, we use it. It's always on the board. We have velos, exit velos, launch angles, and hang times, just to kind of see. That's one way that we kind of too. If it's on the board, we go back on scrimmage review, and we're like, hey, look, that ball was up there for 5.2 seconds. That ball needs to be caught. Right. Let's look at our read here. Different things like that.
Yeah, it's outstanding, and I can't wait to see the rest of what you guys got going on. This place is absolutely incredible. All right, we're now joined by Kyle Saracen, Director of Player Development in his 5th season here at Virginia Tech. Currently, we're standing in the brand new pitching lab. Talk to me a little bit about kind of how important this space is for you guys and how you guys utilize it.
Yeah, appreciate you being here, man. I mean, this is probably the most in-depth look we've had at this facility since it's opened last year. For us, it's a lot about kind of making sure that our guys have a place where it's just our pitchers, right? I mean, a lot of programs are sharing one indoor space between hitters and pitchers, and it can get cluttered at times, especially when you have this winter weather, right? So for us, it's a way for our guys to kind of have their own space, get their work in, get their recovery, and also have a bunch of baseball technology where we can make the most out of their bullpens, make the most out of their day-to-day work. So there's kind of different areas within the lab here where we have technology kind of linked to the mound. We have a recovery area, we have a weightlifting area, and it's really everything our pitchers could ever really need.
Absolutely, and it's insane that, obviously we've come a long way in the technology space in baseball, and you guys have, sounds like a lot. We're going to check out a little bit and how it works, but talk to me a little bit about why it's important, some of the recovery tools, why that's so important for you guys, getting them back, healthy after a start, so they can continue to build as the season goes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think one of the biggest challenges we have with our guys is keeping their mobility and keeping their flexibility during the season. So we have a couple of different things that we use with our guys to kind of help them bounce back and help them stay as fresh as possible. Ultimately, you have a lot of guys who are going to pitch more at this level than they've ever pitched before in their life, right? So just being able to keep on building them up so they're in a really good position and they keep growing throughout the season. Their stuff keeps getting better. Their velos keep going up, and they just keep gaining experience and becoming better pitchers and position yourself for a deep run. So, I mean, for us, we use really three main things. One being armcare.com, which helps us evaluate mobility, external, internal rotation with our guys, pre-exam, post-exam on their mound days. And then we have the K2 sleeve, which is something that our guys can throw with when they're not feeling 100%, and it helps their recovery as well. And then we have the Flex Pro Grip, which is something we use a lot in the fall to really strengthen their UCLs and their forearms, and something that a lot of big league teams are kind of getting involved with as well.
All right, Tyson, we're walking through the front of the clubhouse here. I see on the right and our left here, we got the Hokie fuel station. Talk about a little bit, just keeping these guys fed, right? It's important to keep these guys fed and beefed up, right?
Yeah, and they're always hungry.
Yeah.
No, it's nice we have this area here so guys can come from lift to practice or vice versa. A lot of guys hang out in this clubhouse, whether it's in this room or the team room or the actual clubhouse. So guys come from class, they grab a snack, they're hanging out, they're maybe doing classwork before practice, grab some food before practice, or especially now, sometimes our lifts are after. Right. So the guys will get practice. They'll come over, they'll grab some food real quick, head over to the weight room, make sure their energy supply is still good.
That's awesome. And then right here on the wall, obviously very important and impressive, Hokies and MLB have this kind of, I love where it's kind of positioned on the way out of the clubhouse towards the field. Guys can kind of see the goal that they're working for individually. Talk a little bit about how important that is for the guys here, and then also kind of the relationship that you have with some of these alums coming back and giving back.
Yeah, I think it's great that these guys see this pretty much every single day. A lot of these guys' goals, if not all of them, is to someday play in the major leagues. So this wall here, you have the guys in orange are first rounders, and a lot of draft picks. We actually have our baseball night coming up on Saturday. Roger Clemens is speaking, but then Chad Pinder's coming back, Manaply's coming back, Gavin Cross, who was a first rounder on our 22 team, a lot of other guys from that team, and Packy Naughton's coming back. I'm missing a few guys, but like the relationship and the cool thing about it too is, aside from the last few years, some of those older guys like Manaply and Pinder, they weren't coached by this coaching staff. So sometimes you don't know what their perception may be or whatnot. They've been phenomenal. They come back and talk to our guys all the time, from whether it's actual physical things as far as let's talk hitting or pitching, or the mental side. They came back and talked for about an hour, just Q&A, open panel. They were open. They were honest about everything they've gone through, and they've been phenomenal, all the guys. So.
That's so important. That's what it's all about, man. All right, so heading in here into the team room. Well, why is this space important for you guys specifically?
So this is pretty much where we hold all our meetings. All of our scrimmage review goes up on the projector and whatnot. We can fit our full team in here. So from a team aspect, we go through scouting report meetings, scrimmage review, any team meeting as far as, hey, we got travel meeting coming up starting, week and a half we're playing at UNC Charlotte. So what are our travel rules? We're going to talk about that here in this room. It's also close for the guys. Like, they have computer access right here. The guys can come in, they have class, let's say 8 a.m. to 10, and they want to get some schoolwork done from 10 to 12. They're around our facility with a place where they can do work. It's kind of quiet. Right. They have computer access, all that sort of thing. They also, every now and then, I think they do some Bible studies in here on their own time. They do some movie nights, different things like that. So kind of a space that's ours, but it's also theirs. And we use it a lot. The scouting report's also great, just because you can go scouting report into a practice, as opposed to like guys can get dressed, they walk out here, 5 minutes, boom, you're done, and out they go.
Keep it rolling. So, and I think it's just so nice to have an area where you can all gather and have the attention in one space. It's a little bit tougher when you're in a dugout or in the clubhouse, because clubhouse, that is fully their space, and sometimes you don't want to cross over that line and let them have that, right?
For sure.
All right, we got Ben Watson, grad senior outfielder here for the Hokies. I'm going to give you a couple quick ones.
All
First
right.
one, who's the best ping pong player?
Best ping pong player, it's got to be Garrett Giebel or Jacob Exum. If they were going at it last night, I think Exum won twice. So
How are you on the
Exum.
tables? Because that was humble of you not
I'm
to say
trash.
yourself.
No, I'm trash.
Honestly, I appreciate it.
Not
Next
being
one,
humble, just being honest.
looking around, who's the dirtiest?
Eddie Micheletti right here somewhere. Example A, you can see that locker.
All right, who's the cleanest? Who would you want as a roommate that you got in here?
Cleanest, not you, Gibby. Probably Tackett. Tackett's pretty like OCD with everything he does.
I appreciate that.
Definitely
I like
shows
that.
in his locker as well.
It's definitely a dope space. You guys spend a lot of time in here, kick it, and
Yeah, we're here whenever we're not on the field, really.
I love it.
Not in the field or in class.
All right, we're in the weight room here with the strength and conditioning coach, Seth Deiters. Talk to me a little bit about, from your point of view, obviously the importance of this room for the baseball program, and then also a little bit of the mental side of kind of motivating these guys. And we spoke a little off camera. You were saying how making this an enjoyable atmosphere for them.
Yeah, huge for the guys. We want them big, strong, powerful to be able to compete with not only the best in the ACC, but across the country. So getting them in here and getting them foundationally strong. So again, we can put the best product out on the field, keep them healthy, keep them able to do their job. And then, like you alluded to, we try and make it an experience that they want to buy into every day and come back to and enjoy themselves. I know that doesn't maybe sound the best, but if you believe in something, you have fun at something, you're going to work hard at it. You work hard at it, you're going to see success. So that's what we're after every day.
Absolutely. All right, just a quick one on the top of my head. Who's in charge of the playlist in here?
That's another thing that, guys come in hard practice. Best way to boost them up is say, hey, you put on whatever you want. So it changes every day, will change mid lift. So I leave that completely up to the guys.
Love that. Is there a set max day playlist? When it's max day, there's a lot of juice in the room. Is that more like the heavy metal?
Yep.
We're gonna throw our heads through the wall that day.
Oh yeah. The last 3 weeks leading up to Thanksgiving was a pretty hard 3 weeks for the guys, and every day it was heavy metal, and the boys just put their nose down and grinded. So it was a cool atmosphere to be around.
I love that. Thanks so much for giving us a couple minutes. Really appreciate it.
All right, Tyson, we're in here in the indoor hitting facility. Obviously, a ton of cool stuff in here. But first off, how nice is it to have an indoor setting like this for guys to come in and get work in, whether the weather might not be nice or really just around their schedule?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, we have 4 cages, so you can get the whole team up here if we really need to. Oftentimes we'll have different hit groups or different BP groups split up, where they're not all up here. But if we need to on a weather day, they can all come up here. We can pull these screens back and get somewhat of a ground ball work in, different things like that. We have some self-feeders for the machines that if guys come in at 8 o'clock at night, they've got access. Every single one of our players have 24 access to this building. So they can come in, they can self-feed, they can come in with one of their teammates, set up a machine, and get some extra work in that way. So they always, they're in here a lot. It's a great space from being downstairs in the clubhouse and just coming up to hit, or if they're just hanging out and killing time after some classes are done before practice, they might come up and get some swings early. So,
yeah, it's so sick that you come right up the stairs and then you're right in here. And the self-feeder I thought was the coolest thing in the world for guys to be able to hit off the machine. And, tee work can only do you so much when you're trying to face 95 to 97 on a weekend. You get on the machine on any given day. That's awesome. I see a couple of things here. Obviously, we have the spin ball machine. Talk about the importance of that and being able to utilize that before you guys go face a really good ACC arm.
Yeah, so the spin ball machine, we can dial in the spin rate of each pitcher. So you get TrackMan info on the Friday starter that we're going to face, and we can replicate his fastball or the slider, or whatever pitch you want to replicate. We can pull off a certain pitcher's TrackMan data and put that fastball right through the machine and have our guys hit that in the days going up to the game. So it's been a game changer for us. The only downside right now, we have the cage with when the garage doors are open, you got some light issues. The guys don't like that, but they battle through some adversity. It's all right. They can deal with it.
The other thing I noticed here is on the pitching machines, we have the yellow taped around where the ball comes out of. Talk about the importance of that and what the reasoning is for that, because I think that's really cool.
Yeah, so that's a hard focus versus a soft focus. So if you're staring at a hard focus, it would be you're staring at a spot. For example, you're looking for the pitcher's release point, and you're staring at that for 20 seconds while you're in the box. Eventually, it's going to get blurry. So we have our guys, kind of they're looking at maybe the pitcher's feet or somewhere else, kind of behind the pitcher's soft focus, where they can see the pitcher getting ready to start his delivery, but they're not narrowed into a specific spot yet. And then usually around handbrake, or a little before, we'll get to that release point, which is simulating the yellow on the machines. So if a guy's feeding the machine, he might go hand up, soft focus. Once that hand starts to come down, we get hard focused. We're not watching the ball into the machine. We're getting our eyes to the yellow where the ball's coming out of.
That's awesome.
All right, Tyson, we're sitting out here outside of the suites up here. Walk me through what's game day like Friday night here in Blacksburg.
It's incredible. The fans are awesome. You have the grass berms out there, and those are usually filled, whether it's blankets or strollers or lawn chairs. There's nothing cooler than a big weekend. You're in the dugout. You come out for the national anthem. You turn around and walk back to the dugout, and you just see thousands of people. These stands are filled. You have the suites up top here. Pretty cool experience for everybody. I think you can sit wherever you want, kind of in a sense. And some people choose the grass area. Some people choose to be right behind home plate. We have a group of students called Chef's Kitchen, and they usually get pretty rowdy. They're right along the edge of our dugout, between our dugout and home plate, and they make it uncomfortable for opposing teams to play. And that's something that always enhances our experience. We want to put a good product out for the fans, something they can be proud of, and represent this brand well. So.
It's a beautiful facility, and I'll be excited to come back and check out a little weekend action in the ACC.
Yeah, should.
That'll do for episode 4 of the Unofficial Visit, presented by Kinatrax. Shout out to Virginia Tech Baseball for letting us tour their facilities.
Smash that like, smash that subscribe.